Hello, happy Friday! I've got a cup of tea now, but it's very quickly going to be replaced by a gin in the next hour or two. I'm just popping in because I really wanted to have a chat to you. It is my 22nd wedding anniversary today. How freaky is that? 22 years I've been married. 44 now. So I got married when I was 22. I had my first child when I was 25. Abster's 19 now. And we proceeded to have 3 kids in 4.5 years. And I was thinking about being married for 22 years and how happy I am now and how in love with I am with my husband now. But it wasn't always smooth sailing. And it made me realize that the time at which my marriage was at its worst, trickiest, most challenging, at the time where maybe I wasn't sure whether we'd make it or not, was probably exactly where most of you guys are at right now. Probably I would say at the times where I was really, really struggling and that marriage was really difficult were when my kids were about 4, 6, and 8 or something like that. I had done 8 years of being a stay-at-home parent. And I'm getting chased by muzzies. And it was really, really hard. And it was hard for a few reasons. One, my husband worked overseas in China 2 weeks of the month. So I was doing 3 kids under 5 by myself for a while, which was really, really, really hard. But also, I think it had a lot to do with that I just felt like I had no self-worth whatsoever. And the reason being is that I'd been a stay-at-home mum for 8 years. Before I met Craig, I was this super confident, noisy young woman. I finished top of my year at university and I was a complete ball breaker. And I really was like, I'm going to take over the world, buy my own house, let a man live in it. I was that girl, you know that girl? And then I found myself having my kids really early in my marriage. And 8 years in, I just wondered where the hell I had gone. And I really describe it as those years as being in the trenches. Until such time as your kids go to school, there's really that feeling that you are in the trenches of life. You are literally just getting through it. You're just getting from the first thing in the morning to the last thing at night, and you're just doing whatever it takes. And you're probably not feeling that great about yourself, and you're sleep deprived, and you feel like crap, and you really actually, your husband and you are like ships that pass in the night that are just getting through it. And what I wanted to say today on my 22 years of being married and really remembering when I wasn't sure whether my marriage would make it or not, it does get better. I promise you, it does get better. If you are feeling that way right now and you just feel like you're barely hanging on, it gets better. I promise. As the kids get ready for school, even as one goes off to school, it gets easier. And as 2 gets off school, and then when you have an opportunity and something to do for yourself and something of your own, and you get to start worrying about yourself a bit more again, it does get better. I promise you. If you can remember that on those awful days and those days where you really feel like it's all too hard, it gets better. I can't say it enough. And you once the kids go to school, or once you've got one at school, just having that little bit of time for yourself, being able to start putting yourself first a little bit more. And I guess what I would say is find a way to put yourself first now, even if it's just a tiny little bit, whatever it is going to be. Maybe you can have that one thing that is your thing. It could even be half an hour of something, but draw a line in the sand and say, this is my bit that's mine, and make a deal with your husband or with a family member or someone and get one little bit of time that's yours. Because I remember feeling like my entire life had been hijacked. I remember feeling like I just felt like my life wasn't my own, that I didn't matter, that I was just there to do everything for everyone else. And I got really close to breaking my marriage. And it was, I just felt invisible and like I didn't have any self-worth. So if that is you, and if you're in that moment, or you just have those times sometimes, two things. One, I promise it gets easier. Hang in there. And two, make sure that you make some space. I know that you feel like there is no space, but you can find a little bit of space. Even if it's just that you know that for 1 hour on a Sunday morning, you get to read the book. My husband used to feed the baby on Friday night, so I would express all week. And then on a Friday night, I would go to the opposite end of the house where I couldn't hear any crying. I actually think I slept on a sofa in the spare room or something like that, but it was just to get my Friday night back. And so I would have one night of the week where I slept, or he would take the baby out so I could just sleep for 2 hours. Whatever is your little thing that you can look forward to all week, and it sounds so small. You're like, what about the rest of my life? But even sometimes just those small little bits, they make such a difference to you getting through it. So if you are in the trenches, I see you, I know how you feel, and I remember it so very well. But 22 years on, with a 19-year-old, a 16, nearly 17-year-old, and another one about to turn 15, I can tell you that it gets easier. And I can tell you that it's worth hanging in there and just giving yourself permission to just get the hell through this part. And know that the trenches of life are where you are right now, but it's going to get easier, and you're going to get to step out of there really soon. So I'm sending you all my love to all those people who need to be recognized that life can be really shit bringing up kids, and it can be exhausting, and you can feel like you don't even exist anymore. You do exist, and I see you, and you will be able to take your place again, and now give yourself permission to find a little bit of space for yourself every day, or at least a few times a week, even if it's just half an hour. If you can make longer, even better. But I'm really, obviously, really, really blessed that I have one hell of a husband. He doesn't like us talking about it, but we call him Jesus. And I hope that doesn't offend anyone who's religious, but he's just the nicest guy ever. And I am really, really lucky to have him. And I'm pretty sure I probably have I'm sure there's people saying, well, you're the lucky one. But honestly, just taking that time, I'm very blessed to have Craig. He is super supportive of what I do every day. And he's an absolute keeper. And so send him your love in the comments. He packs up my boxes, as you know, in the mornings, even though he is global manager of a stock exchange company. And he really supports me in every way he can. Heather says, mine was Saturday night when my son was at his dad's and I was having a bubble bath and shaved my legs. I know, right? How bad is it that for us, even a chance to shave your legs just somehow makes you feel more human? I was lying in bed this morning cuddling my hubby, and I always say I was so aware that when I lie on my side, there's like about 17 rolls that fall over onto the side, and I've got no makeup on, and my eyelashes are red when I don't have eyelashes on, and he just gets more and more handsome the older he gets, and I think, gosh, that is love. That my husband just still cuddles in with all of my rolls and my red eyelashes and all my wrinkles, and just makes me still feel loved every day. So you guys are going to do great, and you are going to get through this, I promise. And when you get to the other end of it and your family's intact, you're going to feel really, really relieved and happy. So hang in there. Jamie says for hers, it's hip hop class on a Wednesday. For me, it's my morning walk. I walk in the morning, but I do it before everyone gets up. But yeah, when the kids were little, it used to be going out for an hour. I remember once I'd spent all week expressing so that I could go shopping on late night shopping on a Thursday night. And we'd been there about half an hour, and I'd done my hair and I'd put makeup on, and I was feeling really, really proud of myself and so excited that I was finally out of the house. And the phone rang, and Craig was on the other end, and he just sounded awful. And he said, I'm so sorry. I just dropped the bottle of express milk on the floor and there's none left and she won't stop crying. You're going to have to come home. I will never forget it. I'd only been there about 45 minutes. I was like, no. So I see you guys. I know you're doing it tough, but I promise you it gets easier, and I promise you that you will get through this and you will be fine. So happy anniversary to my amazing hubby. Lots of love to you all there in the trenches, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. All right. Bye, guys.